All right, we're live now. Cool. Thanks for watching the VOD. Apologies for always being so slow in getting them up and for consistently lying about getting them up faster on streams. I don't know what it is. I wish I could automate the process, but there's like a mismatch in terms of accounts and blah blah blah. I don't think I can link my old A Loving Robot account to the Monsters and Memories account and all that shit. So yeah, haven't figured it out. If you're an expert on these things, feel free to comment. Maybe help me figure it out. Tidy Tid, hello. Siren, hello. What's going on? What's up, Lich? Casper on acid. Yo, what's up? Casper. What's up, Pixana? Agenda today, probably play some spawns in Fallen Pass. See if I can get over the hurdle of being so freaking slow in the BV when I'm streaming. What's up? How is CrowdStrike impacting your life, Lich? What happened? Lich, tell Mama what happened. I love this song, man. Let me know if it's too loud or not. Teflon Don, what's going on? Name is apropos this week. Plus, you're taking another step back with some insurance providers being down. That sucks. No, I understand what's going on with CrowdStrike in that sense. Oh, are you saying the airlines being... Damn, this is loud, huh? The airlines being down is affecting... Okay, I forgot how much you traveled. I forgot. Yeah, it sounded like one of those incidents where it just throws it discombobulates the world and someone checked in the wrong shit or something didn't get QA'd properly. Wasn't there something like that a year or two ago where it was literally just like some fucking file that somebody checked in that it shouldn't have, or comma in the wrong spot or something like that? It was like Bill the intern. Sorry, Bill. Bad one. Stevie the intern was like, oh, sorry guys, didn't mean to destroy 20% of your stock price. What's up, Dad Vic Soldier? The Soldier's Fate. Ah, na. I don't know. I don't know if you're a Master P fan. Makes you wonder how many critical systems are just out there flying by the seat of their pants. Oh no. Just every day wake up, eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and be thankful that the sushi thin veneer of civilization is still intact. I like how much you gotta walk up this ramp right here without there being anything. I was thinking, does this need a like a roamer or something? Maybe I'll put a little rare, like a rare patroller on here. But I like that it creates like this interlude. where you're looking at Lower Saman down there, kind of coming up, and then you're looking at Upper Saman over here, and then you're getting into the business. Once you start doing .gov work, you realize how much the world's held together by duct tape, bubble gum, and paper clips. I worked in Washington, D.C. for 3 years when I was in the Army. And I'm gonna assume things haven't gotten any better. This is why I don't update Windows. It's funny, I have not been updating. And right before the stream, I accidentally hit restart and update. And I was like, watch this be the thing that makes it so I can't stream. Hey, sneaky Russian. Hey, Kenji. Hey, Tannhauser. That's a very bad-looking Drake, yeah. We're on a budget. We're on a budget. We're just gonna glue bigger fangs to it. Needs a hammer to the face. Damn. Wyatt. Hello, mighty one. Welcome. Things are going good today. We went for a little walk, not really a hike as much as, I guess it was kind of a hike. In a nearby forest. It was pretty nice. Earlier. My wife has 2 weeks off. This is the Friday, so almost done with the first week. And yeah, so I'm starting the stream a little early, about an hour early. I might end it a little early as well. We'll see. But just so I can hang out with her. Dev Miko, thank you for the follow. Wait, that's a backpack, not a sack? Yeah, no sack backpacks yet. Gotta shave them. Sneaky Russian, what are you talking about? Bats? Mm-hmm. Of course that's what you're talking about. You gotta shave your bat? There's products out there for that. They sponsor a few YouTube channels. Gotta shave them bats. Zukin is working on Drake's Nowish, I think. I'm so behind on streams and stuff. Maybe you've already seen it. Is this overlooking the Vale? Felt like going up this way was a zone line before. It is not. This is overlooking, so this is facing south. Vale is north of here. Out that way, I'm fairly certain when we update the facade later, you'll see the little fishing village. Dev Miko is currently EQ Dev, if I'm not mistaken, Swanee says. They haven't said anything yet so far, have they? I didn't miss it. Rib Chumley says intrusive thought bluffs. Really want to jump off that? Yeah, it's kind of hard not to, right? See if you can hit the water. You are indeed. That is awesome to hear. Programmer or... It's funny, we tend to use dev kind of interchangeably, right? There's dev that is just programmer, and then there's sort of the general, we're all developing a game kind of thing. On the code team? Right on. Well, welcome. Welcome. I wish you guys were still, I wish you guys were still at Termin Court. I wish you were still in the Termin Court building so that I could ask you all about how the building's doing. How's the cul-de-sac? I miss it. I miss it. That was one of the coolest periods of my life. So many awesome vistas in this game. Yeah, we're all about big vistas. But it's going to depend on the region, right? In the zone. You're going to start seeing some more, variation as we work our way north, and you'll start to see more zones that are low visibility, foggy, different sizes, different shapes. Hey, Isan, what's going on? I was thinking about you. Jasmine and I just watched the full series of Generation Kill. And as I was not a Marine, I was merely an army man. Whenever we watch something about Marines, then I think of all you devil dogs out there. Leathernecks, jarheads. Big vistas make levitate effects an interesting travel mechanic. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how we do that. Vistas and violence. I like it. Defiant Possum. Vistas and violence. I like that name. Crayon eaters. Be nice, Wyatt. We're on the same team. You lock your crayon drawer whenever the Marines get mentioned. That's so funny. Yeah. Those poor guys. And their dietary habits. Do 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 do. What's up, Uptown Coyote? I think in this one it's probably relatively safe to jump. Will you be able to zone into here from the coast? Yeah, you should be able to zone by swimming around this edge. We should make sure that that's doable. We're doing so much with elevation that we're gonna have a lot of interesting situations to work out with regards to just people. I mean, you saw it when I was streaming last week in Telekir, right? Like, There's some stuff to figure out since we don't do leashing. Can lead to some fun trains. Swanee says it's all joking, good fun. I remember when they used to make fun of us in the Air Force, throwing all sorts of slurs like you guys in your nice hotel rooms, and beer money per diem. Listen, you guys were spoiled. Come on. I saw it myself. The barracks I lived in when I was in the Army was, it was owned and managed by the Smithsonian. And it just was not in the best shape. I'll just say that. Now I've seen far worse. It wasn't that bad, but I was, as the brand new private when I got there, I was immediately given the bed so we had a bed, wall locker, desk, and the desk was right under where there was a hole in the ceiling because there's a pipe that it just continued to leak. And so they'd already knocked a hole there because I guess ceiling was just falling apart. And it was just dripping on the desk. We had an old barracks, nothing like what you probably had, but made enough from per diem TDY all the time. I got an apartment downtown a year or so before I could technically move off base. About how much did the weekend beta cost you to run? I could pull that data from Ollie at some point if you're really interested. Don't forget to ask on Discord. Dev Miko, what are you doing here? I'm gonna talk to you. What are you doing here? Just hanging out? Are you working? You may post a meme unless it's a bad meme. If the meme is bad, then you may get booted for posting it. So I'll let you be the judge of what is about to happen to you. First day at CrowdStrike, pushed a little update and taking the afternoon off. Yeah. On a Friday. That's great. Just hanging out in background entertainment while working. Right on. Are you in the office or are you guys working from home? Working from home? Right on. That's the way to do it. There are a lot of times where we wish that we were together and working in an office to make some things easier. But I mean, we've been able to get stuff done. We've never met, you know. I mean, a few of us have met in person, but like the team's never met, and we're still able to get shit done, I guess, right? You'll be the judge of that one of these days. Oh wait, you've play tested the game, a lot of you. You can judge how much we were able to get done working all remotely. What do you think? Good enough so far? Mighty Najal says, "Oh, I apologize for accidentally posting a video in here the other day. I meant to send it to." Oh yeah, that was fine. That was fine. Certainly pros to being in an office. Work from home has its benefits for sure, but also challenges. Yeah. Swanee, if you do ever make it up this way, let me know. Miko said, got the chance to check it out during the last playtest and really enjoyed it. My group of friends are excited to play again during the next one. That's nice to hear. Thanks. Glad you enjoyed it. As a video game manufacturer yourself, I'm sure you kind of see the stuff that we're still working on and understand the challenges. It may be my last European trip for a while, so I may try to make a special trip up to where we are. Berlin? No, don't do that. You'll be hours away. I am in Bremen, which is about an hour from Hamburg. So Hamburg area. If you wind up like just being able to make it to Hamburg, let me know. Jazzy J and I can hop on a train and go hang out. Hamburg's a nice place to visit. Chocolate says, I work from home Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Always get more done on work from home days. If I was in a normal office, I bet that would wind up being the case for me as well. The challenge I'm running into is I've been saying this shit for a while now. Like, I really need to just set aside days where it's like, very much one specific context. Like, I'm just focusing on base pop today. I don't care if anything else is going on. I'm not answering any other questions. I'm not doing anything. Maybe I answer questions in the morning and then cut it off and like just focus on getting base pop done. Challenge right now is the fact that now Jasmine's not working today, or just for 2 weeks, which is nice, but now I'm really not getting a ton done. What's up, Dragon? 20 said, oh shit, you know I spent the night in Hamburg my last trip at that opera house? Is it the one across from the Alster? The little lake thing? Westin Hamburg. Funky looking building. Let me look. See if I know it. Westin girls. Westin. Miko, when you see Tom Toby, you tell Tom Toby, I enjoyed the interview I did with him a couple years ago when we were doing the interviews, but I was not happy about what he said about our animation. So now Tom Toby's on my list. You tell him I said that. What? Oh, okay. The Philharmonic. Hafen City. This one. The Wave Building. Yeah. Dude. I've spent so much time. I spent so much time just walking around drinking kiosk beers and just walking around Hamburg. Just no joke. Had to have been hundreds of hours. I was so fit just from walking and drinking. I've been through every neighborhood and borough in Hamburg. Because I just wasn't used to that idea that you can just drink a beer in public. So I would always have my dog with me. We'd go out. What do you want to do today, Ziggy? I don't know, man. What do you want to do? Go for a walk? And he'd be like, yeah, you know, let's go for a walk. And then you can just get a beer. Big old half-liter German beer from a kiosk. And go walking. And then when your beer's out, you stick it near a trash can because they're all recyclable. So, not recyclable, but they have a fund. What is that called in English? When you get money back. Deposit. And so, you would get, you just stick them there and someone would be like, boom, pick it up. And yeah, just there's always a kiosk within sight for the most part. After a while, I got a good pattern. I knew where all the best kiosks were, and I just go walk around, drink beer all day when walking. Let's say that I was fit from the walking, but one day, no bullshit, we were joking about this. Jasmine was up there for some like seminars for surgery. And so I was just hanging out up there, and I didn't have the pupper with me. And I wound up, I walked 24 kilometers. We looked at my little watch thing. It was 24 kilometers by the end of the day. Needless to say, it is a good thing that I stopped drinking about 11 months ago. So, but I also haven't been walking as much. With such casual beer laws, how are Germans so meticulous with engineering? I think it's just in the DNA. I don't know if they're keeping up on that though. Miko, thanks for the clipping that. Make sure Tom gets it. See you, Swanee. Is German getting lazy? Is that what you meant by not anymore? I will say that it is my belief that the Germany I lived in the 80s as a child is not the Germany that exists today for the most part. I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to get political. I don't want to get into social topics. Nothing too IRL. Don't want anybody to get sad. Also, I know, I'm just getting old. Yelling at clouds. Hey, Chinny D. What's going on, buddy? Hey, Darius. Well, I hope they still make great cars moving forward. I love over-engineered German cars. Yeah, their cars are wonderful. And I'm kidding a little bit. I think I hope that they fix some of their issues and really embrace what they're good at. How do we want this to work? They just legalized grass? Yeah. It's progress? I mean, it's progress if you want to sit around and not be productive. I wouldn't say that if a country fancies itself the best at precision engineering, that weed's necessarily going to help them. It would look neat if some of the drakes flew off the cliff a little, like 10. You mean off the side? I think we could probably figure out how to do that using some of First's patented hackery. How do you approach population? Fuck. Let me start over. All right, 3, 2. Dargis says, how do you approach populating an area like this? Do you have any kind of written design that informs objectives for the camp, players, or mostly wing it? Wing it? Is that a Drake joke? Is it because I'm working with Drakes? We start with, we start with like a rough scale, scope of the zone, and then POI, so that we have a rough idea, and then we get going, everybody gets excited, and the zone gets crazier and crazier. Not looking at you, Pattis. And then we look at that and go, oh shit, we can actually support a lot more than we originally thought. And then we modify rough scale. It's another Drake joke. That is true. Your dad, puns are unintentional but unavoidable. It's fair. Yeah, so we kind of go back and forth on every project I've ever worked on. That's been the case. You start with like an idea. Typically, rather than try to lay out every single detail for the artists, in the past, like especially way back when I was on EQ, we just didn't have the time. So we'd have a rough idea. We'd get with the artist. The artist would kind of do some stuff. As we got better, we were paired more closely. So like every day or so, you're down there, you're talking to them, and then you're fleshing it out as you go, and then the artist does something you weren't expecting, and then you're like, oh shit, that's really cool. Let's do something with that, and it may then get incorporated back into the story, or you just you just do like a one-off thing with it. And from there, it's a bit of a back and forth on like looking at, hey, now that we've got this area up here, we could probably support 2 groups. All right, well, with that in mind, do we actually want to more intentionally have something where it's 3 groups actually? If we've got a sort of a camp here and a camp there, and we've got some roamers, so in theory, if you got some people kind of duoing or whatever, sit in the ramp, maybe they come over into a corner. Do we go ahead and take some of these roaming paths and pull them in so there's a little bit more of a safe corner there for those guys? Things like that, right? So it's just, and then we see how people play it with us having playtests and stuff as well. We don't have to wait until it goes live to see, oh, they're doing some interesting shit or sitting in weird places or camping something we weren't expecting, and then we can just make adjustments from there. I probably ask this every time, is it Is it Soyante? Tell me how to pronounce your name. My strange named friend. That's what it was. 73. That's what it was. Now I remember us having this conversation. Alright, 73, I will try to remember you. Do you have telemetry on player population to inform you where the camps are naturally forming and stuff? We don't have heat maps and stuff like that at the moment. It's mostly observational data at this point. We have discussed being a little more sophisticated than that, but often, especially with as much as you guys have streamed the playtest, talked about the playtest, we've run around because the playtests are so long. We can get a little bit of a feel here and there. Set active commands. Oops. Did you happen to see the dad server discussion that went off on Wednesday in Discord? There are great and hilarious ideas brought up. I didn't. I thought I saw some reference to it, but I did not go in deep on that one. I think I was still recovering from the like 5-hour discussion of whether or not we should... Oh, what was that person on about again? It was one of the usual things that we're not going to change. Shit, what were they talking about? Oh yeah, dynamic camp thing. That's what it was. Feels it would be a popular server? I mean, once we get rolling, we may do some wacky shit like that just to see. Let's start with the meat and potatoes first, though. Our primary mission is to launch a game. Can we swap taters out for broccoli? If you want. I mean, I can see that, man. I used to really love me some broccoli and cheese. More than taters for sure, but now I'm back to taters. Big fan. General Discord channel has been blowing up recently. Hard to follow. It can be a little hard to follow now, but it's still, it feels like it's still civil. You guys are doing a great job in there being welcoming community members. We're at like 8,800 people. It keeps growing. We're starting to think you guys might actually like what we're doing. Weird. Some are very energetic posters. You maybe post something once every few days. Yeah. I'm a bit behind on my work lately. So there's a lot of random stuff going on that's not just implementation work. So I really haven't been putting much focus on. I'll come in, I'll skim, I'll look for crazy stuff. I know the team's in there a fair bit. Nicodemus asks, technically speaking, is EA effectively considered launch, or is launch the phase after terms? I will always call EA launch. And I will distinguish between the launch of early access and the launch of like 1.0 just through that description. About to trim the beard. Wish you luck. Fastest way to know beard is to trim. Yeah, I hear you. Good luck. I gotta trim up this weekend as well. That's a very base thing to say, not hiding behind a tag. Interesting. Just hope Eminem doesn't launch without a Lizard Race. Lizard Race will be between Early Access and 1.0. Unless something wild happens. I mean, wouldn't you just rather have a Lizard expansion? Isn't that the trend? Will SF characters be able to create at EA, not SF? So, self-found, not solo self-found? You want us to launch with lizards and humans are the expansion? Well, you should have said something about that like 4 years ago, bucko. You're a bit behind. You're gonna make if you're gonna make demands like that, you need to get your shit together and be here early. What's up, chat solo? Open set. Hello. Hello. I've got this big German garden neighbor. Shiny bald head, big beard, wonderful guy. Just, you know, fantastic dude. Down at our gardens. For those of you that don't know, we have like a plot, like a 400, actually I think it's 420 square meters of garden with a garden house and stuff down in the community plots. It's a big thing here. About 2 kilometers from here. Anyways, our garden neighbor, every time he sees us, he's like, this is the only English we get out of him. He goes, hello. That's it. That's the only English we get from him. Hello. OpenSet says, hello. Hello. Found your stream VODs 2 weeks ago, and they got me pretty excited for the game. Awesome. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, people who comment on YouTube. You people watching this VOD right now, it's because of your interaction. It's because of your likes and your subscribing and all of the wonderful comments that you put, and then all of the wonderful likes that we put on your comments, and then all of the responses, even some of the shitty comments. Those of you with really shitty opinions, thank you for commenting. If you're sitting there right now about to type some just dumbass comment, I appreciate it because it helps the algorithm. Thank you. And I will comment back to it because it helps the algorithm. I will click like on your mean comment. I love to be negged. Yes. That's how I know you really want to date me. those of you out there that are like unfamiliar with what we do here and you're like, did he just say that somebody had a dumbass comment? That you can't do that. This is you guys are trying to, this is a commercial endeavor. You can't say that. Nope. Some comments are just dumb ass. But it's rare. It's rare. If you're about to comment right now and you're worried, now wait, is he going to think my comment's a dumbass comment? Odds are probably not. It is so rare that we get anything mean. There are the occasional people that pop in and they're like, I disagree with corpse runs. I don't like to find the merchants. And yeah. What's my favorite pasta shape? The old school just macaroni. Macaroni. Like nostalgia. Macaroni. Because I grew up on mac and cheese. Like the thin box of Kraft mac and cheese. Times was tough. Yeah, I guess that's elbow noodle. Okay. If you're fancy, how about you just call it macaroni? But there's probably like 10 different macaronis. I'm the dumbass on that one. So macaroni, big fan. There's not enough like cheap mac and cheese over here. It's hard to find sometimes. Shells, those remind me of like 2006 shells. 2006, 2007, leading into my my second divorce. Lasagna. My parents used to make, dude, my dad used to make the just most badass lasagna. Just ripping lasagna. Macaroni and cheese casserole when we started to get more money. When we had a little bit more cash and we could get bigger with our mac and cheese. Mom and dad would make mac and cheese casserole. When we moved up from like the Kraft little pot of mac and cheese with the cut up hot dogs in it. And then my dad would make some badass lasagna. Spaghetti at my grandfather's house used to be just one of the coolest Sundays ever. So that is where I stand on pastas and pasta shapes. Nicodemus asks, when you guys do airsoft, do you and Jasmine speak English to give you an advantage in firefights? We speak English because it's just faster. Like my instinct is English. When we're yelling out stuff and we want the people around us to kind of like have an idea of what's going on, then I'll switch to German a little bit. But it's mostly like directional, and it's mixed with English because I don't think do I even know the German word for contact? But a lot of the airsoft folks, it's kind of like Jasmine's at the range shooting right now, and they use English. You know, like, shooter, are you ready? Kind of stuff. So English is acceptable. It's not going to trick anybody if I'm yelling in English and I don't want them to know, then that's not going to work. That's what comms are for. We actually tried that out. Have I streamed since our most recent airsoft endeavor? But yeah, so we tried out comms, and there's room for improvement with our setup. Our main thing going into this last airsoft event, we're looking, what can we learn about our equipment? Right? Like, we're never going there to like dominate and stuff at this stage. We're going there to learn. We had a nice after action review to discuss what was working, what wasn't working, what we need to improve for the next airsoft event that we go to. And comms was definitely one that we want to improve. Never had a stake 'em. Are they just not that good, or did your taste change? Somebody said something about stake 'em up here? I remember them being like one of those modern things. Like, it was kind of like, oh, Steak'em's the new shit in the 80s. With with your boxy spawn volumes, how does clipping into the wall work? Will mobs spawn inside a geo possibly? No, essentially, it should be looking at collision if I'm not mistaken. And Harrison, Pattis, let me know if I'm wrong on this because I noticed typically they don't spawn or path into Geo, but then over here where we've got some stuff that's in progress, there is a little bit of spawning or a little bit of walking into Geo, but I think maybe it's got something to do with it being in progress. That's a much more involved past answer than I would have expected. I try to be thorough. What's up, Wolfhausen? You mentioned how your family got more money and you started to eat better, Sean. I used to love all that cheap food when I was a kid. Yeah, I think Steakum was like outside of our price range early on. Plus, I think that's like a mid 80s Steakum. Yeah, it's because it's in progress. There's overlapping geo in the area. Okay. When did Steakums come about? Eridid, thank you for the follow. Steakums wiki. Steakum. Brand of thin sliced frozen steaks manufactured by the Steakum Company. Used for making Philly cheesesteaks. So, product was invented in 68. Company was sold to Heinz in 1980. Yes, I think it was one of those things where it just wasn't super common. Maybe they didn't have them at the PX, or maybe my parents just weren't into them, or whatever. But I could definitely see how that makes a solid Philly cheesesteak. The thing that happened was when my parents moved us to Germany. It was like 82, I think. 81 or 82. Maybe earlier, but I thought it was like 81, 82. The Deutschmark had strong parity with the dollar, and my dad was like an E4 or E5, maybe an E4 in the army, so we didn't make very much cash. My mom she worked at she attempted to work at a sewing factory for a while, and that was pretty rough. Yeah, so the job situation and the dollar to the Deutschmark situation was not great. Then we went back home for a year, and then moved back to Germany, and like, yeah, it had to have been earlier, maybe like 79 or something, because we moved back to the US in like 85, 86, and so, and that was after another like three and a half years in Germany. So the second tour, it was 4 Deutschmarks to the dollar. So just in that period of time, I don't know what happened, but it went from like 1 Deutschmark to the dollar to like 4 Deutschmarks to the dollar. And, or yeah, somewhere around there. And my mom got a job working for an international shipping company. And my dad, I think, had a little bit more rank. My mom had a good job that was paying dollars, but working in Germany. And so we were loaded, like, in comparison. Like, went from mac and cheese a lot and being super poor to all of a sudden we had decent cash. So that was a really fun trip to Germany. Like, that's when I actually got like Legos and shit. Had an Atari 2600. We were eating good. You just hooked up your Atari 2600? Play a little Donkey Kong? Nice. Nostalgiaville. That's so badass. Dude, games used to be hard. Hard stuff. Told my wife I want to go back to Hamburg and she said, do we get to stay at the same hotel? Nice. Hey, Scruffy Bard. Dead Zergling said, I do still love top ramen dry, but I know better than to have that nowadays. Yeah, it's kind of bad for you, huh? Bremen is actually closer to Bitburg than Hamburg. Bitburger. I have consumed a few of those in my day. What's up, 2 Chains? Man, I don't know. I'm absolutely getting to that age where nostalgia is kind of a beast. Like, the nostalgia is real at my age. At least, I don't know, at least for me. It's pretty intense. We went to a new, like, walking kind of trail area or whatever through the woods. That'd be freaking fantastic. Through the woods near German army base earlier today, and just getting out there away from everything and like all the pine trees and just, oh man, it was so nice. But the ground was kind of sandy, and between the sand and the pine trees and stuff, it reminded me of the South so much, reminded me of Alabama so much. And just being able to take a couple hours to go walking was just like such a treat, that it really made me nostalgic for being younger. And I was like, man, I wish I could go back and help myself fully appreciate what, like, how rad it must have been to be able to spend an entire day just fucking off in the woods, right? Like, just walking around, throwing pine cones at shit. Man, if I had the airsoft guns back then that I have today, you'd never get me out of the woods. I love Pitfall and Boulder Dash. I love Pitfall. Really good game. Building forts and ramps. Yeah. Forts. Are those dino eggs? They're undead drake eggs. They kind of look like dino eggs, don't they? A little bit. We may be tweaking some of the prop. What am I doing? Move to click. You've only played paintball? How's airsoft? Airsoft's fantastic. just got your mountain bike fixed a few days ago. Blitzed DT to get some tattoos same day as solid time off the interweb. Downtown? I'm assuming DT. I was like, I don't remember any airsoft or mountain biking term that's... Okay, cool. Yeah, I mountain biked when I lived in San Diego. When I was working at SOE, bought a nice mountain bike, and a buddy of mine and I would go on weekends and go out East County and stuff. It was really nice. I got super fit. So airsoft, Swanee, I found airsoft to be really cool. One, the BBs aren't bad. I mean, I've got a couple little purple marks on me, but getting pelted doesn't, it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, one guy, I guess, you've got different ranges, engagement ranges, depending on your weapon as well. So when you're in certain areas, they want you to switch to a sidearm. A sidearm's typically 1 joule or below in terms of power. And then like our M4s are like just under 2 joules, and we've got a sniper rifle that's right around 2 joules at the moment. So when you get close, you want to switch down to a lower powered weapon. So you typically swap to a sidearm and swap to pistol, or if you've got like a submachine gun or something, which in Germany legally automatic airsoft weapons can only be up to half a joule. So yeah, this one guy got accidentally blasted right in the forehead with a rifle of probably about 3 meters or something, and had a nice little bloody bump on his forehead. He was a little upset about that, but overall, the platforms we went for are gas blowback, and that was why we were really curious to see how reliable they were and what it felt like. But our gas blowback, we both are using the same weapon. She's got a 11.5 inch, and I've got 14.5 inch barrel, and so because she's a little bit smaller. And the thing that we like about them is the weight feels, it's not 100% accurate, but it feels close. Magazine capacity is limited. The magazines are heavy because of the way they're constructed, and they contain the gas, unlike the AEGs, which is an electronic, more common sort of airsoft rifles, electronic. And then the internal like cycling and everything, it disassembles. It looks like an actual rifle. It cycles like an actual rifle. You can pop it in half like you would any other AR or M4, and then grab that charging handle, pull the bolt carrier out. There's a bolt carrier there. Charging handle, you look in, it's got an actuating real hammer. Everything's pretty real looking. And so that's one of the things I really wanted us to utilize platforms that felt as legit as possible, and presented the same problems, right? So could be that gas gets wonky in a magazine, and doesn't fire right. Okay, cool. Consider that a magazine issue. Swap it out. Just various mechanical issues that you run into. Just felt like it would be nice to have to engage with those. And then love the fact, everybody I've talked to leading up to it, they're like, oh, don't get gas blowback. People here don't use them because the AEGs are using magazines that are like, they have 300 BBs or 200 BBs, whereas we've got, I believe ours are actually 35 instead of 30, but 30 rounds each. So it's healthy practice. Was it the Rick Moranis looking guy that got shot? No, but he was very funny. I showed the team some some pictures from that day. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you what I look like. I know a lot of you guys probably don't give a shit about this. Apologies. I know you're just here to talk video games, which is fine. We can do that. You just got to bring up the topic. Let's see. I don't know. I should... If anybody on Twitch is looking, this is a toy. This is a replica. This is not... this is nothing threatening. Don't complain at me. So, yeah. That's my setup. I went there just in jeans. Everybody else is, like, fully... Here, you'll see. Everybody else is pretty, like... geared up and camoed up and gillied up and stuff like that. And it looks like you're about to do the HK slap. Are you talking about the just our general reference, or are you talking about the wonderful music video? But yeah, so I go out and I've got that plate carrier is a real plate carrier. I've got level 4 ceramic plate in the front. Got my little goodie pouch. Got my magazines and stuff, just because I want to run around with as much of like the real weight as possible. So yeah, wound up being a nice long day. Look like a Call of Duty character. I got a nice compliment in a sense from a photographer that was out there. He came up to me after we had done a couple rounds or whatever. And he looked at me, he goes, "Private contractor?" I was like, "No, man, I'm a video game nerd." What are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Don't have cargo pants on, so not private contractor. Yep, I was just in jeans. No cargos that day. Jasmine was in a similarly sort of chill outfit. So, but yeah, it was nice, man. Afterwards, the guys that were running it were talking to us because it was our first time there, and they were really complimentary. They were like, they appreciated that we were working together and stuff. But that's what we're out there for, just work on our teamwork and stuff, you know, just like get used to communicating. It helps our communication as husband and wife. What kind of communicating do you do? Contact 3 o'clock, 80 meters. Suppress, bounding. You know, just relationship stuff. Kurtz McGurts, thank you for the follow. I love the term private contractors instead of mercenary. Hey. Tater, potato. Could have also been an extra in The Purge. Oh man, Jasmine loved that series. We wound up watching like every Purge movie. I didn't think she'd be into it. And so I was like, yeah, you want to check out this movie? I don't think I had ever seen him either. And it was like, Ethan Hawke's in it. And we watched it and she was like, "More of this, please." And I was like, oh shit, okay. Oste? Is it Osti? Oste? Osti. You tell me. I like to get it right. I hope you're doing good. Welcome. Do you get flashbacks from the war? Me? Nam? A little bit. Communication is good. Why do you ask? As he used hand signals to tell his wife to flank to the right side. That is not a joke. You think that's a silly example. It is 100% accurate. What was I doing? All right, go home. Oh, active command. Which one is this? Ah, okay. Take off invulnerability for the jump. Alright. Let's see if there's a clear spot here. Yes, for Science Surfer. You ever watch the ex-Spec Ops guy run Airsoft? The video had Doom music? Well, maybe. Maybe. YouTube? I think I've watched some Rangers play with folks and smash them. I think I saw like a 3 or 4 former like SOF guys play with some people before. That's always fun. I mean, the main thing out there, honestly, the main thing out there is yes, there's a certain amount of like experience, you know, like certain amount of skill with the weapon, conditioning, but so much of it is just familiarity with working together as a team. You know, none of the stuff I've seen in the videos, and it makes sense. It's like none of it's like super secret ninja magic like tactics or anything. It's you know, it's your basic shoot, move, communicate, but you're doing it at a pretty high level because you're familiar with it. There's not a lot of hesitation, right? You're really, really solid at doing the basics. So, oh, super safe. That's a hell of a jump. That's a fun jump. We've got some things that we're going to have to do to keep from being from creating too horrible of trains, but that's a fun jump. I mean, it's really up there. What's up, John? Thought I was going to torpedo right through the ocean floor there for a sec. Yeah, right? Dude, that is without a move rates modifier, that is a heck of a climb. Putting the falling and falling past, for sure. One more time. Ooh, that was not as good a location. I played medic for one of the matches, and man, I was exhausted afterwards, running back and forth, trying to resuscitate people. Good job, Pattis. The zone is really coming together. I think in a worst case, if you do run down there, let me look real quick. I think the train will be okay. So let's see, fly. Imagine the hardest part of being an airsoft medic is the mouth-to-mouth with masks on. Yeah. That, and they didn't appreciate me sticking with IV. Yeah, this zone is definitely like at least 3 zones in one. Again. We did it again. We did it again. 3 zones in one. I mean, there's so much that we can put over here now in this nice area you have built. Love the huge zones. Really adds to a sense of adventure. Just roaming around. Love the vastness. Yeah, we're going to mix it up. There are going to be some cozier zones, some little zones. There's going to be, you know, we'll be doing big zones. But we'll also be doing smaller zones, some simpler zones, some big simpler zones, some smaller complex zones. We're just going to mix it up a bunch so you don't know what to expect. Are there pocket zones like the Infested Crypt something you'll continue with? Yeah, for sure. Expect a lot of those over time. Spoiler. Especially over the years, expect a lot of those, but even going into early access. I don't remember called us East Corona earlier. Oh, when I was going up the ramp. Yeah. I mean, each point of interest here is a bit, spoil it. I'm here to spoil it for you. Yeah, each of our points of interest here is almost like a zone, as opposed to just being a little point of interest within a zone. Brain fart, making the basement of the Night Harbor Inn a mini zone would be fun, like an actual mini dungeon. You never know what you may find down there. Night Harbor is going to be very porous. There's going to be you'll find stuff in Night Harbor for years to come. The bigger the zones, the more people will complain about the size, so keep them big. Then people will treasure faster transport modes. That's kind of the thought, right? Because we've still got to get mounts in. There's some shit that we need to see. People will always be looking for move rate enhancement. People will actually hang out with bards, weirdos. Let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, clicky boots. Clicky things. Excuse me. You are adding maps, or do you mean actual content? Content, Mortis. Content. Radar maps confirmed. There we go. One of the things we are known for is flip-flopping. We are flip-floppers. What we've done now is argue. We basically stated we're not going to do something for years, only to then turn around and do it. This team's nickname is Waffles. Exactly. Anytime someone complains, they immediately just cave. No backbone, I tell ya. Wonder what would happen if you made a game using every bit of community feedback. It would never get done. So one time during a EverQuest fanfare, I was on a panel, and there was somebody that was very passionate about their solution to this bullshit change that we had made that wasn't well considered. And it's super easy to. We should have known better, and blah blah blah. And so I asked him what his solution was. Like, how would you have done it? Since we did it wrong, how would you do it? And it wasn't like antagonistic. I was just like, just okay. So how would you do it, person? And then he told us, and it was a room with like, I don't know, a couple hundred people in it. I asked, does anybody have a solution to the problem that is different than this gentleman's solution? And like a dozen hands go up easy. So I pick another person. How would you fix it? And that person stated their solution. And I did that like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 more times. And they were all very different solutions. And it was like, all right, so that's that. I mean, I guess if you're going to take feedback, if you're going to act on every bit of feedback, you can, potentially have it be democratic. You can have people vote on it, right? There's some good systems out there, software that lets that sort of stuff happen. Even project management software that allows you to set things up with the community, like AHA. And then boom, people vote, and you could do that as well. But they are different. They are different processes, right? You wind up with a very different product than I think what we're making. Because it's not to say that I don't trust your opinions or the opinions of the masses, but I'm saying I just don't want to. I wouldn't want to work based off of them. We factor in your feedback, even if that factoring in is like saying, "Hey, we heard that," and no, like, don't want to do that. But thanks. I mean, does that make sense? I mean, we don't fully agree internally even on a lot of things, but I guess in theory, let's have these guys spawn here and just walk over there to that area. May even wind up. Not gonna lie, I low-key enjoy seeing the artist disagreements surface in streams. It's not very it's very real collaboration, not canned PR shit. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We're not gonna agree on everything, and there's stuff that we go back and forth on. You know, behind the scenes, we go back and forth on stuff. There's you know, some arguments every once in a while on some things, and that's kind of that. You come to this stream for the canned PR shit? Thank you. That's what I'm here for. I am here to blow smoke up your bum. Everything is wonderful. Where the F did I just put this? Will Eminem have an event like the Sleeper? Maybe. I come to hear how real the real talk can get before someone says pineapple. Sometimes it does get too real here. It gets real unprofessional. Miko, are you still out there? Nice. How long have you been at the company? Just over 3 years, maybe compared to most of the team. Yeah, I saw a video from the anniversary. It was so awesome seeing like folks that were there 20 years ago. Some old dogs in the mix. I remember when Vancouvering got on the team, he spent some time, he asked, I could have sworn he asked to spend some time in customer service before getting on the team. just to kind of get a feel for what was going on there and all that stuff. If I remember correctly, I could have sworn that was true because I always thought that was really rad, having come up through customer service myself. Apologies to those of you watching the VOD. It sucks because I don't really have a good solution for people watching the VOD to see the comments, see the chat. It just kind of scrolls along the bottom. And don't want to block off a big chunk for it on the video, but let's see. Dargit says, thinking about that Drake camp area you're just working on, any M&M philosophy behind itemizing humanoids versus non-humanoids? Often in classic games, it feels like humanoids are naturally favored when it comes to basic loot tables. I mean, we're going to be... It's on our list to like really hammer down on that philosophy a bit more, like formalize it a bit so that we are all pretty cognizant of it. But I would say that, you know, it's safe to think that when we look at better incorporation of trade skills into the game and just looking at drops in general, yeah, I think it's easier with humanoids because you tend to then have like the common weapons and armor drops that are happening there, right? Like, so yeah, naturally they're going to feel a bit more favored. I think depending on where we land with some of our reagents use and how that actually works, is it a requirement for certain spells versus a bonus for certain spells versus whatever, looking at materials that you need for trade skills and having those better integrated into drops instead of just shit you buy from a store. You know, that's, and then looking at looking at pricing and things like that as it relates to those, looking at rarity. right? Yeah, wolves don't use a lot of weapons. A humanoid is more likely to use the things you do, but again, looking at wolf pelts and getting kind of weird. Wolf meat, or their glands that might be useful in alchemy, that type of thing, right? So I think that, yeah, you're right. For sort of the immediate kind of gratification of an armor piece or a weapon or a gem, things like that, then yeah, naturally it's easier with humanoids, but I think we'll find a nice balance there. Random question: will rangers get pets? Don't they already get pets? Dargit said Embers Adrift had a cool idea when it came to monster drops that were like spell ability components. You could cast your heal spell whenever, but when you had its special component, you get it automatically consumed on cast and give you like X% bonus to the cast. Yeah, I think that is well worth considering. Speaking of, somebody made a good video on Embers Adrift. I watched it the other day. I meant to like repost that. Again, I've enjoyed my time in Embers. I don't have a lot of time, so it's hard for me to get back in and play at the moment. But I enjoyed it. I know, different folks talking about the low fantasy and this and any other thing, but just generally speaking, as a way to get in and, just kind of like have that nice meditative, relaxed, grind out some experience, see some cool shit, group up with some people. The bit of time that I've spent in Embers was actually well worth it. And if I had infinite time, I would definitely be playing. Yeah, Dargith, I do think it's worth looking at. It's something we've talked about in the past. Any plans for super rare materials to drop from named to be used in crafting Uber items? Yep. I think we've talked about examples in the past a fair bit. So it's not always like just a cloak of flames. It's also getting some cool items out of the. I know they're using quests and stuff, but like out of scales or tooth or this or that. So good question though, Surfer. What was I doing? Oh yeah, pausing and then go to. So what you're saying is you only have time for one MMO. What I'm saying is I don't have time for any MMOs, Goblin. Too busy chasing goblins around and stuff. Will there be class titles like in EQ? Like in the Who wall? Like adding a bunch of titles and shit over your head. It would be nice for us to not do too much of that, but you need Taint of Flames from a dragon to make Cape of Inferno. I don't know what to say. I could see the lore justification. It's probably one of the softest spots on a dragon. I've said too much. Can you imagine that argument on the forums? Oh my gosh. No, we would not. It's one thing to be unprofessional and weird in here. It's not something we need to encourage in game. Oops, wrong command. Have I ever thought about braiding my beard? No. Even when I had a longer beard. I used to have a really long beard years ago. Super hipster looking, unfortunately. Chances of you having a sand giant sack are close to nil. Yes, I think that's safe-ish. I think that's safe-ish. I've had several offers to braid mine, but alas, still no takers. You've had offers or you've made offers? I honestly, I need to shave. I'm not really a big beard kind of guy. Not like shave it all the way, but just kind of tighten it up a bit. My normal barber was not there last time I went. He broke his hand. So the other guy did it. So it's a little bit longer than normal. Super Laser. Thank you for the follow. Super Laser, do you listen to Major Laser? I will take that as a maybe. It's a strong maybe. Not a ton, but it shows up on some associating playlists. Okay, cool. Frickin' Diplo, man. Wild to think it was like I was listening to that like 12 years ago now. Time flies. Always made fun of my brother's characters for being like Thornwhacker or some shit, so this handle became kind of a joke that I stuck with. Super Laser. Oh yeah. Those of you that are new to the community, we've got a few of you today. Those of you that are new to the community, I'm curious, how old are you? How old are you? And how did you hear about the game? This is for science. We're asking for science. Nothing makes you feel like hearing that song turns 40 this year, right? Mighty Anjal says I'm 42. That's kind of in our average. 35 to low 40s is kind of our average. Bill said, found out yesterday I'm old. Oh man, who told you? Who broke the news? Miko said, I found out about it from Chinny D's video. Right on. Chinny D's videos are fun stuff. Crochet says, 53, dirty old sock stream. Oh, hey. Oh, Dirty Old Socks turned you on. I was like, interesting. You have a different name in here. Okay, Dirty Old Socks turned you on. I got confused. So you're 53. Chudster's 52. Watching other streamers talk about the new upcoming M&M. Right on. Super Laser said in the average found out through PQ. Right on. When is Ko gonna play the game? Any set date? We're not doing like special streamer things, or at least not now. Maybe we'll change that after a while. But it seems like it's not fair to you guys if we let streamers play or content creators play and you guys don't get to play. So it'll just be whenever we have another play test if he wants to pop in. It's open. He's always welcome. Double R says 42. Saw him Panth promoting this game a year plus ago. Oh, God bless Panth. Even if it is a horned god of the wilderness that howls like a wolf. Panth is a wonderful dude. And he's been very kind to us. In his sort of opinion stuff. Watch he'll finally play it. He'll be like, oh man, no. I hate it. It doesn't feel right. Shit. That would be such a bummer because he's been holding off for so long. If he did it, then no, Panth, no. Do shamans get a bear form? I don't know why shamans with an S always seems weird to me, but it's correct. I've looked it up. But it seems a little weird to me. Shaman is like fish in my brain. I've looked it up. It's not correct. But, do they get bear form? Strong maybe? There's Nick. Nickel answer that question. Panth doesn't like corpse runs though. Nobody let Panth die. All right, make this promise right now. Pinky promise. Pinky promise. All right, you got a pinky promise me. If Panth plays the game, you need to watch out. You got to look out for him. Do not let him die. Then he doesn't have to recover his corpse. We're good. We're on solid ground. You may or may not have added an FP Easter egg based off of his stream. Oh, you gotta tell me in secret. I swear I won't spoil it. Who's Panth? Panth I know him as an EverQuest streamer. He is one of the first EQ streams I saw in 2020, I believe. Maybe 19, maybe 20. And because one day I was trying to describe what I used to do for a living to my wife. I was like, I worked on this game. And we had talked about it before. I mean, she knew what was up. She actually surprised me by telling me one day we were at an art museum in Hamburg and they had a video game exhibition. And then she was like, oh, I played this game. And it was Champions of Norath. I was like, yes, this is the place that I used to live. And so anyways, I was like, oh shit, Twitch is a thing. I wonder if anybody plays EverQuest. And I popped in and Panth was in Chardock. And I was like, oh, is this Chardock 1.0 or 2.0? Because Rich Waters and I are the ones that redid Chardock from 1.0 to be 2.0. We did it over a weekend and I will always be fairly proud. You guys, you see, I am slow as dog shit when I'm streaming and I'm air quotes working, wink, wink. But if needed, I swear, at least I used to be able to get shit done pretty quick. So we repopped it and itemized and quested and all that stuff over a weekend. So anyways, that is where I met Panth the first time. And then would pop in there later on as I was on Aerodune. And then once we started working on M&M and all that stuff. So that's Panth. He's a fun guy. Listens to good music. Did you mess with this new Dragonborn game yet? Seems like Fantasy Tarkov clone or Darker clone. I did not know about it. I don't have time for this. Why are you telling me about this? I am not looking it up on another tab right now. Dungeon Born game. Dun, dun. We have eating and drinking game, win defecation mechanics every time you talk. I'm just kidding. I was just trying to be funny. Pooping, I don't know if it's on our roadmap. They've got Fighter, Priest, Rouge, Pyromancer, Death Knight, Cryomancer, Swordmaster, Druid. Okay, so 8 classes. They've got a beautiful website. Very pretty website. Yeah, I mean, it's not dude, it's not a bad concept at all. I think there's room for some competition up in here. Media. Gameplay trailer. Looks kind of dark and darker. Dragonborn with 2 others on comms is a blast. I could see that. The problem is like the melee combat. It just doesn't. When you look at this, do you think we could do that in M&M, but that wouldn't work, etc.? Not really. They seem so different. Right? Like they're just so. Let me respond to something really quick. Man, it's hard to believe it's Friday again already. Hey, Justin Beard. I hope your meeting went well. Yeah, Thulan. Not to be dismissive of what you're asking. Like, it's just one of those. It's one of those things where every once in a while there'll be something that we look at and it's like, okay, that seems neat. Maybe we could grab it or whatever as a concept, but A lot of what we want to do, we know what we want to do. It's just a matter of just having the time to get it in. So it's not something where it would be something fairly, I think, extraordinary for us to look at and be like, oh, you know, big addition or big change or whatever. We've known the game that we want to make since before we started. You know, like when we first sat down and talked about this game, it's turning out way better, way better than we, or at least I pictured it back in the day. It's a crazier project than I originally pictured, but it's still the same project fundamentally that we discussed early on, which is really cool. Hey Taru, hola. That's the only word I know in your language. Better than your English? You type in English. Oh, you silly person. Typing fluent English. Better than my English. Uh-huh. Yeah. See. What are you doing? Patch tracing or something? Just setting up some spawn points and patrol routes. Mostly in here talking smack. Nicodemus says, I like hearing the origin story of Eminem. One day I will go through it in more detail again. It is a swell story. After we successfully launch, we'll tell the... What are you attaching yourself to, you wild go-to point? We'll tell the story in detail. Warts and all. Let's see. Is the goal of Eminem to be instanceless? Instanceless. Yes, it is. Taru, you're gonna have to help me out, Taru. Should I be asking, is it como te va? Ah, cool. Bill said, "Hold you to that, sir. Over beers, my treat." All right. My beer may be non-alcoholic, or it'll be over coffees. I like coffee as well. You can have all the beers you want. Who knows? Maybe I'll be drinking beer again by then. I'm gonna see how long we go without it. So far, it's been really good. Been nice, man. Feeling real productive. Well, more productive than if I'd been drinking. That'd be really unproductive right now. I'm feeling real guilty about my lack of productivity lately. There's just so much. I mean, and what I mean by is like content implementation. There's so much other shit going on that's like, it's easy to get kind of caught up in the mix of not making content. But at the end of the day, making content, what matters. That's all you care about. You content gobblers. Eminem headquarters isn't using CrowdStrike, I hope. Those guys got me the day off, basically. Apologies if you talk. No, we haven't talked about it. No, it's had no impact here. Scruffy Bard asks, what do you think about War Wizard from Evercraft? Have not played it. Have not played the class. This guy drink enough beer to get to the Balmer Peak. Is that like Balmer's behavior? I can do that without alcohol, trust me. Coffee is fantastic. Now I kind of want some coffee, but maybe it's going a little too far. I gotta get up early tomorrow, and it's 9 p.m. Feel like non-alcoholic beer has exploded lately? Yeah, it's growing super fast in Germany. As of last year, 10% of all beer sold in Germany is non-alcoholic. They've got basically every single beer you could want. Every little brewery in Germany does alcohol free. They say here, alcohol free. Damn, John. John said, sounds like improper storage. Now you want an Irish coffee? Get you some. What time is it where you're at? Might need a jaw. Get you a little whiskey in your coffee. That is not medical advice. 2011? Oh, yeah, that's plenty late. Where are you? You in the UK? Liz Biscuits, are you out there lurking? Can't type today? I can't talk today or any day, so don't feel bad. It's literally what I'm here for. Norfolk, not far from Norwich. It all sounds like Lovecraftian villages to me. Similar to Holland here, mostly flat but with some hills and places, a lot of greenery. Are you from there? Or do you just live there? Listening to the stream and Instacart at the same time? You mean you're on Instacart or are you I was like, can you listen to Instacart? It's a grocery order service website. Ah, fair. Okay. I was using, when we first got here, we were using a grocery ordering service for our local grocery chain. But I have to have an excuse to get up and get out of the house every once in a while. Otherwise, I'd just always be in here. Was born in Norfolk. Really like it here. Lived away for a while. Came back to look after my parents. Right on. And that's rad of you. So I assume you have a cool accent. I work from home. I go to the grocery store every day for that same reason. Yeah, man. I've got to see some people. I got to get out. Got to stretch my legs. Thanks to this man and fading EQ show, I understand more spoken English, or spoken English more every day. Hey, glad we could be of service. Witch of 420. Thank you for the follow. An enjoyer of Witch 420. I'm like, are you an enjoyer of magical herbs? You know what I like? CBD gummy bears. Because I like gummy bears. And I'm physically the CBD does help because my body aches all the time. Everything hurts all the time. Imagine a pirate accent mixed with a hobbit accent and you have the Norfolk accent. That is a wonderful, wonderful combo. I agree with Wolfhausen. But personality-wise, are you more pirate or are you more halfling? Hey, Jasmine. You like to think you're more pirate, but have more in common with halflings. You like second breakfast, sleepy days in the country. Fair. That, I mean, makes sense. That's not, that's not crazy. I'd say the test is if you can understand this second gentleman in Hot Fuzz that has a conversation and have to... I say the test is if you can understand the two gentlemen in Hot Fuzz that have a conversation and have to have two translators. What the... I don't think I'm reading very well. You'd think that, but some people with strong Norfolk accent are unintelligible. Okay, I think I get what you're saying. I think I get what you're saying now. How am I gonna understand people from Norfolk talking? I can't even read English. Has the music been up loud enough this whole time? I just looked down. I remembered that I turned it down earlier for some reason. can't remember why. Like I always tell folk, I speak American. I tell people in Germany that all the time. That's actually what I said to that photographer that asked last weekend if I was a private contractor. I said no. Like, as soon as he asked, I was like, no. I'm just American. That was my response. God bless you, sir, for doing our country proud. Yeah, I get into it, man. Like airsoft, I get silly out there. Jasmine said the previous time we played, she was like, I always know exactly where you are. I just listen for somebody going full speed. Hey, Miklas. G'day. Saving up to travel to Japan, and as the internet says, I hope to be the American they think I am. My only trip to Asia was a week in Taipei when I was on EQ, and man, that was a really interesting experience. We were the only Americans that we saw, with the exception of we ran into a crew of guys in one restaurant one day. And people thought we were interesting. Yeah. My spoken English is very bad. I need a few beers to speak well, Taru said. It definitely helps, right? Alcohol is a great translator. Were you affected by the CrowdStrike tech earlier today? Nope. I wasn't. I don't know if anybody else on the team was work-wise, like day job-wise. I think a couple people were affected. Hey, Corvus. Kind of like beer goggles? Exactly. I wonder if there's a term for beer mirror, like beerer. Because that's the thing too, man. Get some beers into you, and then you're looking in the mirror, you're like, yeah, looking buff today. Super Laser said, I spent a summer in Taipei. Food is incredible over there. 1,000,000% true. That is one of the things I think about to this very day and have thought about consistently. Consistently thought about. The food was so good there. That trip made me want to get awesome dim sum for the rest of my life. good and cheap, I assume. I don't remember. I don't think it was very expensive. I think that's fair. Would love to do a food tour of the world, trying all local dishes. Maybe not the whole world, but I definitely agree. There are definitely some spots that I'd like to go and just eat. There are plenty of other places where I would go and not eat. I would just not do that. Would not do it. Where would be the #1 place that you'd go, though, to eat? What is top of your list of food that you wanna get? Corvus says, I feel like I had a list of questions I want to ask for today, but they're all gone for you, right? That's why you gotta write shit down, buddy. Write it down. Little notepad. France or Italy for Wolfhausen? Just had a lot going on past couple days. Feel like most of them stem from discussions on Discord. Oh, I can imagine. And there are times when people are discussing stuff on Discord, and I'm like, feel free to pop in and ask that in real time. Always wanted to try real Mexican food, not store-bought kind. Would Mexican food in the US still count? Would that be good enough for you? Because I feel like I've had some pretty authentic, pretty delicious Mexican food in the US. Teru says we have the best food in Spain. Your food is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Though I've only been to Barcelona. I can't pronounce it like you guys do, man. It's pretty cute the way you guys say it. I've only been to Barcelona. Barcelona. You're from Valencia? Is the food better there? Barcelona is it's so touristy. I wasn't sure if that was the best representation. Went to a badass bakery there, though. That was pretty good. Naturally went to, some fast food places. not fast food, but some tapas places on the beach, of course, tourist stuff. My theory, so I have a theory on Barcelona actually. Here, let me finish this guy real quick so I don't forget. What's up, Jew Daddy? Go to go home. The active command. Put a dude there that he's visiting. All right, let me, before I forget what I was going to say though, let me do that as well. Here, let me bring up paint. Okay, so Barcelona, if you go to the beach, you're gonna run into, like, here's a building like this, right? And then you're gonna run into, oops. Then you're gonna run into, here's like here's the sidewalk in front of this big building. These buildings, right? And then, okay, the water is going to be over here. Okay, so that's your water. And then this building, oops, this isn't meant to be blue. It's got to be gray, otherwise you'll probably get confused. Okay, and then there's seating places. There's seating places out in front of each of these places. And I'm going to simplify this for sake of time. But I will have you know, and I'm not exaggerating, that this is how Barcelona looked, at least when I was there. All right, so each one of these is it's a different restaurant. It's different seating places, right? Because then each one of these is a restaurant. These are all tapas restaurants. So along this just one section here, and this is replicated throughout the beachfront. Yeah, this was, so like if you're looking at a building, I don't know what's going on in here. It could be a courtyard, it could be solid or whatever. But like if you're walking down the streets near the beach, and like I said, this is the ocean. Like somewhere over here. What I noticed was there'd be like 20 tapas places on a strip, right? It'd be tapas everywhere. It's tapas right here, right? Like, so it's all this tapas. And so and they're all different restaurants. They all have different menus, they have different seating areas, they have different interiors. And I have a theory. My theory that I developed while I was there was that they all look like different restaurants. They all look like different restaurants. But my theory is that behind the scenes, it is just one mega tapas restaurant. It's a tapas factory. Behind the scenes, it's all one giant kitchen, probably with like a conveyor belt. Right? So it's just one big tapas can, yeah, it's like sushi boat, right? So it's just this big, and then they just, boom, they got an order, they truck it down, right? And who knows? I don't know what's going on in here because I didn't draw that part. But there's probably, it's just like a, there's probably just like a giant tapas warehouse, right? And they probably even have like just big cookers where you've got all the salted peppers are in a big vat over here. All of the fried prawns are over there. And so it's just this, and who knows, maybe the interior of the building is disc shaped and maybe it even rotates, right? So maybe they're along the edge, like the cylinder of a big tapas gun. And so that seems likely. I did not hear any machinery, but it's probably well lubricated from all of the tapas juice, all the tapas oils, right? And so it just rotates as needed. And they're just like boom, boom, boom with the little trays, right? I didn't get a chance to go and inspect the various dishes themselves to see if they're using the same dishes, which I think would further back my play on this. Stop giving away their secrets. It's starting to look like an Overcooked level, yeah. This needs to be a layout of a giant halfling cookery. Maybe it's the RQ Hotel or the hotel upper diagonal. There's like a peninsula right over here with a hotel on it. Like over here, if I remember correctly. But I remember this strip and I was just like, I think there's something going on with the tapas here. Because it was so many restaurants that were just basically all tapas restaurants. Tapas GM would like to know your location. Yeah, right? Big Tapas doesn't appreciate this theory. If anything happens to me, I am feeling really good about life right now. So if anything happens to me, you need to upload some videos to TikTok explaining what happened to me. Have them look into tapas. Have tapas investigated. Why do I imagine an ogre in charge too? I could see that. The ogre boss, little halfling tapas workers. I don't know. Maybe that seems more like a deep gnome thing. Big Tapas took him out. Add another one to the list, guys. Goblins. Goblin restaurant. Brent, that makes sense. If there's one way I like to go out, it would be via Patatas Bravas. Is that fried potatoes? With the aioli? So I'm gonna warn you guys in advance. Okay. Taru, hold your ears. Earmuffs means don't listen. There's a tapas place in a ski village in Austria. The village is called Saint Anton. And the tapas there, when we were first told, like, oh, where should we go eat? The lady at the restaurant was like, you want to go to the tapas place. We were like, really? Tapas in the middle of Austria? She's like, yeah, it's awesome. We go there and it's just like after ski, everybody's smashed. It's packed. We were there for like 5 days, I think. We ate there 3 nights. And we would have gone 5 nights, but we felt we really needed to try some other stuff. That place was outstanding. And it's so packed that you could basically just try to get a seat wherever you can. The first night we sat with this couple, and they're like, oh yeah, how are you? You know, I think they're a German couple even. And we were talking about skiing, and they're like, yeah, we've been coming here. We've been coming to St. Anton to ski for 50 years. I was like, what? How old are you? And the guy was like, something like 84. And it was funny because he was a dentist and Jasmine's a dental surgeon. So immediately, and they're both German, blah, blah. Dude, 84. I thought he was like high 60s, maybe, but fit. I was blown away. Our next door neighbor, our landlords live next door. They own all of this. And it's a sprawl. They actually live in the apartment next to us, like all, I think, 4 stories, including basement. And then the basement under us, and the floor under us, we have 2 floors. And then the basement under the people next to us. Anyways, the grandmother there, the landlord's mother, she is 93, I think, at this point. And she goes out every day and sweeps the front of the townhouse has got like a little courtyard and stuff. Just sweeps the sidewalks, takes her little roller, her thing that you kind of put your weight on, right? And goes carting around town, man. I see her out by the grocery store. And dude, it's just inspiring. Super nice lady. Whenever I see her and she's like trying to, you know, getting there with her groceries or got her walker thing, I always like try to offer. And now, you know, when we first met, she was a little hesitant, but now anytime I see her, I'm like, hey, can I take that up for you? And then she'll let me take it up and stuff. I'm just like, man, what a cool lady. That's inspiring. Miko, what kind of programming do you do? What is your area of specialization? I was overtaken by a guy in his late 70s mountain climbing a few years ago. Old people are built different. Yeah. We were out with fancy ass like mountain bikes and stuff in East County in San Diego back when we were doing that, and we had stopped, take a little break before we were about to go up this hill because it was kind of gnarly and we were tired. It was hot. And we hear this like squeaky bike sound, and we're all like geared up, got all the nicest, tightest new stuff. And this guy that looked like anybody's retired gym coach comes rolling up with like a pair of like gym shorts, some beat up Nike shoes, you know, like just some sneakers that survived the 80s somehow, and just like regular t-shirt, no other gear on this beat up ass mountain bike. He just comes up the hill. He's like, hey guys. And we're like, hello. He's just like, yeah, nice day or whatever. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. All right. You know, and he never slowed down. And he just like never slowed down. Just went up the hill like it was nothing and just disappeared. Never saw him again. We were like, what in the world? Meanwhile, we're like sucking down gel packs and rehydrating. Like a ghost or something. Yeah, we joked about that. No bullshit. I think that was the joke for a bit. Don't have a specialization. We all kind of work on everything. My favorite thing to do though is random small quality of life things. Right on. Do you work on both EQ and EQ2 or? Wow, the water looks really nice there. Yeah. We're continuing to tweak it, but it's nice. Oh, let me go in with my tune if you haven't seen it. Speaking of which, have you guys seen the No Man's Sky stuff that just came out? John was sharing that. No Man's Sky, and then the like the video where Sean's talking about Light No Fire as well. That's exciting, man. That's another game where it's like, I wish I just had a ton of time. I just don't. Looks fantastic. Those guys are awesome. So it's interesting. I'm glad I didn't know more about their story at the time. So right around the time that I was starting talking with Nick and Ollie about this project, like when we were first talking about starting this, I was job hunting a little bit, like looking around. And oh shit, that looks nice. I don't think I've seen that in yet. Still got some UV work to do, but looking good. Yeah, I was job hunting, but mainly startups. I wasn't looking to get back into a game company, but one of the recruiters that I'd worked with for a few years, he got me my job at in Sweden. Really, really awesome guy. You know, there are a lot of really there are some pretty bad recruiters out there. But he was top notch. He was actually from the UK as well. And I'd worked with him for a couple years, around 2016 through 17, I guess, around there. So not a couple years, like a year or so. Or over a year, well over a year, because just one of the recruitment processes I went through was 7 months. His name's Lee. If you're out there, Lee, you're a fantastic recruiter. But Lee hit me up while I was looking at some different startups, and it was around, you know, like I said, around the time we were maybe talking about this, but and he was like, hey, I think you'd really like Hello Games. They're looking for someone to basically work as like a someone to help lead up production and stuff there. And I had such a disfavorable view of like the No Man's Sky situation. I hadn't researched it well enough or whatever. I was like, man, I don't know that I'm interested. He's like, oh, I think you'd be a good fit. You should really check it out. You should talk to the guys and stuff. And then I think it wound up just being one where ultimately passed on. I was like, nah, let's just keep looking at startups or whatever. And it's very fortunate because now that I've seen their story and have a better feel for them as a company, I've got so much respect for what they've done that I could easily see if I had a better insight as to what they're about and what the game was about and all that stuff. I could see that being one of those moments where I was like, oh, okay, cool, let's do that. And then this would have never happened. So, yeah. Glad you did not take the No Man's job. The party minimum is great. Can't wait to play again. Yeah, this has turned out to be a really special moment for me. hopefully the rest of the team feels that way, and hopefully it turns out to be a really good thing for the team. But as somebody that's done this before a fair bit, I definitely see what we're doing as a pretty unique opportunity, and it's really come along. I'm super proud of the team. Now this is the PR moment. What were you guys saying earlier about bullshit PR? This is the bullshit PR moment. Very proud of the team. Not gonna lie, Sean's starting to have a good feeling about Eminem. I'm glad. I'm glad it's finally starting to click for you, John. Someone wanted to lend a hand with Eminem. What languages would be best for them to have? The language of love. We are C sharp. C sharp is the language. No BS, should be proud. Can't tell you how captivating Eminem is already. Yeah, I mean that too, right? Like that part's awesome. But I'm just, you know, I don't mean this to poke at other people's experiences or what they're doing or whatever. But I think when you look at, if you look at the challenges that other startups have, and you look at some of the games that have started around the same time as us or started since and just haven't made it, or you see announcements for like some of the other games and stuff, and you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, okay, well, I just find it pretty incredible that we've been able to, with a volunteer team that's never met each other, right? Like a couple of us have met, but really we haven't met each other, blah, blah, blah. It's, yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to see what we've pulled together. You knew CloudStrike wouldn't give me? I never update my software? Exactly. Exactly. I know better than that. Windows 7? Yeah, what's wrong with that? Why shouldn't I? You guys wanted a classic experience, didn't you? This is the type of event that freaks me out about all of our passwords being remembered and auto-generated and having a single master account for most things in your life. Yeah. You know, I know people out there, different people have different feelings about like preparedness and shit like that. I get it. I understand. But when wacky stuff happens, like today, I know today's not a big deal, or the solar flare a few months ago or whatever. Hey, nothing happened. No panic, but you never know. I hope you guys are looking out for yourselves. I like you. I want you guys to be safe. Jasmine uses a password manager, and it just weirds me out, man. It just weirds me out. She's always bummed that I don't use it. It weirds me out. I hide random passwords and books around the house. Sometimes I remember where I put them. That's the plan right there. I respect that plan more than I respect a password manager. Samwise, what's up? Samwise says, love to see the progress, Sean. Check the stream every once in a while, see if there's anything new, and mainly to chill with the lovely soundtrack. Wondering if you can speak a little to the progress made on the network code in regards to lag in the city. I honestly, I can't do a good job because it wound up getting fairly technical. Ollie is on vacation-ish. Otherwise, he might be in here and I could point to it. Maybe one of the other guys kept up better, but there's a bunch that Chip and Ollie were doing that. Did we post a summary? Huh. That makes me wonder if we wrote up a summary or not. I can't remember. Was there a summary in the last update? I don't think there was. But I mean, there's been just a ton of tweaks and ton of changes. Several of which were things that they wanted to do before we had the playtest, but it's just too risky to do it. And so wound up holding off until right after the playtest to push them in. Let me see if I can find a summary. Yeah, and I think it's not just Ollie and Chip. I think it's Ollie, Chip, Callum, our new guy. I'm digging through some notes to see if there's something I can mention here. Sounds like a lot of packet related stuff, garbage collection. A lot of optimizations in some of the requests. It seems like. Oh, there he is. There's Chip. Thank God you're here, Chip. I was hoping I was like, Chip's usually here. This is perfect Chip opportunity. I ought to get you on voice and let you do it. With your calm, reassuring voice. So Chip says, the biggest issue in the playtest was the packet queuing system delaying packets to some clients longer than it should have, leading to some clients falling behind from the current game state. The server itself, while still running more slowly than we would have liked, was within the bounds for a reasonable experience. Had to dig out the password to log in on a different computer. There you go. Well, thank you for the response. Let's see. Samwise, does that help? What other questions do you have while we've got Chip here? Chip said, we've also since refactored the sphere of influence / interest management system, which was the biggest bottleneck in the playtest, and did a few other fixes to underperforming systems. Thanks, that's great. Obviously, when's the next playtest? Well, we're gonna have to test these changes sometime soon. Nice, eager to the games on the next. Yeah, well, as are we. It's gonna be really, really nice to see it in action. It's always reassuring. Bathhouse only stress test. Assume you guys are anticipating a lot of eyes on the next playtest, so you want a bit more polished content before it. If we start getting into that mode, what's either going to happen is we're going to really start getting distracted from our core schedule, Corvus, or we're going to delay playtests longer than we should. Right? That's kind of what happened with this last playtest. We went 6 months without a playtest, and we were really wanting to like show off as much as possible and get things as polished, you know, more polished than they were. And that can bite you in the ass if you take too much time then, right? And then we're like, oh shit, so much has changed. Najal, see you. Have a great weekend. Hey Sparrow, what's going on? What's for dinner tonight? How goes the cannibal diet? Carnivore diet. Nick said part of the problem was we broke a lot of stuff too, so it was a bit of catch back up to where we were in December. Yeah. I think history has shown, both for us but for other projects as well, that the more we try to go out of our way to like do super polished playtest, it's similar to the PR loop, right? We can either stream warts and all, and people just take it as they take it, or we can make videos and communicate, like interact with the community once every X number of months for something that we feel is a better representation. I think if we're super scheduling, let me take that back. It's not mutually exclusive. There's a lot of shit that we can do, and it like helps us be focused and get stuff done that's along the way that is not us going out of our way to do playtest stuff. So they're not mutually exclusive. But I just think sometimes it's easy to get so caught up in like being so worried to make things so perfect, because who knows, maybe this is the time that Co-Carnage plays and he doesn't hate us this time. Then it can definitely backfire a bit. So I think it'd be more fun just for us to be a bit more regular in having playtests, and if we need to, just frame them as stress tests or specific tests. And if people are like, I played and this wasn't polished, be like, yeah, no shit. Making shish kebabs and rotisserie chicken. Still carnivoring away. Nice. And that was just me thinking out loud. That wasn't me saying anything counter to what you were saying, Nick. I was just thinking out loud, because I know the topic comes up. It's like cleaning a house before it's built. But I know how it is, right? Like anytime we have somebody come over for anything, right? Like landlord needs to come in and like fix the gutter or something. I just go into freak mode and start cleaning the house as much as possible, because if somebody's coming through my house, I want it to, you know, look good. And then oftentimes it's overkill and unnecessary. It's human nature? Yeah, if you've got standards. I think there are definitely some people out there, though, that would care less. They are, as my dad taught me early in life to call them, they are shitbirds. Don't be a shitbird, son. What zone am I working on? I am working on a little hidden cove area within Fallen Path. Yeah, it's exciting. It's a nice out of the way area. We've got some nice areas here that are kind of in their own little separate spaces. So that's fun. There's like some pretty distinct separate themes within this zone. It's really, like we were saying earlier in the stream, it's the equivalent of 4 zones in one. Easy. I'm not trying to be obnoxious about. Did you get a chance to look at the zone proposal based on your feedback? No, I didn't even see it. Wait. Oh wait, I did. Dude. I've gotten so dependent on in Slack. I don't know if you use Slack, but in Slack they've got this feature that's like remind me. So any message you get, you can just like right click and hit remind me. Here, I'll just leave it up in Discord. Cool. There we go. I'll take a look. And I'll even make a note here. My things to do. Corvus. Discord. No easy zone lines to escape to? Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some. It's definitely a run. So if you run around here, you can run north and eventually run up to Vale of Zintar, or potentially Shallow Shoals, however we wind up doing it. And then if you run here, you have to run also very far, and then swim around here to make it to Shaded Dunes. Well, this seems like a good place for a secret underwater cave. Why, Doubler? You seem very excited. You're freaking me out a little bit. Why are you so excited? Looks great. Yeah, there's a lot more zone though. YW, thank you very much. Said we're doing an excellent job. Stoked for this game. Have you've been in the playtests? Yep, the last one, 3 days. Got a cleric level 4. Nice. What race did you play? Dwarf? Cool. The obvious choice, dwarf. I don't know, man. Maybe gnome. Gnomes are good. They should do a Hellraiser rap video with Pinhead like they did with Freddy Krueger. Justin Beard. That is a very random statement. What's going on? You live on Elm Street. Is that true? Is that a true story? That sketched me out. I don't know. I don't know if I could sleep at night. Are you thinking of the Fresh Prince rap? Freddy Krueger rapped on the Fresh Prince show? Nicodemus, I'm gonna work with you in the coming week or so whenever you're available. We're gonna work on the good enough thing. Because it actually can be a challenge, but we need to work on that. Then began the nightmare, but on my street. Are you ready for Freddy with him and the Fat Boys? A group called the Fat Boys. We know who the Fat Boys are. Fat Boys are back. And you know they'll never be whack. Fat Boys are back. And the Fat Boys. Chip, is that an actual lyric? Disorderlies was a great movie with Fat Boys. Darius points for that one. That's true. Forgot about Disorderlies. That was in the era of like rap comedies. Disorderlies, House Party. Cool, you can run around while editing. Yep, it's one of the benefits of using Unity. So we're basically there are a couple things going on. One, I'm in the scene view, right? So, or in the game. And then in the scene view, we've got our visual editor. So we can place these spawn points and stuff, and then those spawn points correspond to data in our database. Right, so it's this table down here, zone spawn. And so it's basically... Oops, not zone spawn. Yeah, zone spawn. All of a sudden I was just like... I wish we just name it the things that I'm so familiar with: zone command, encounter table instead of NPC spawn group. Be more natural. It took me 2 years to stop saying that we were working in Unreal instead of Unity. But anyways, all of those little green goblins that you're seeing, those little balls in here, are just rows within that database. And so then when we reload the data within the zone, it's just pulling that from the database into the zone live, and there we go. And since there's a bit of a difference in scale here, then we can look and go, you know what? Maybe we bump these guys a little bit. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. Yes. Yes, Nicodemus. One of my first rap tapes was a mixtape that my mom got me for Christmas. That was Dougie Fresh, Real Roxanne, Houdini, a whole bunch of different people. She got me that, and she got me Run DMC, Raisin Hell, I think, was the one. Jam on it. Yeah, dude. So much good stuff. And then later she got me the Beastie Boys, License to Ill, and that was the first tape she ever tried to take back. Because the media was like freaking out about it. There's a lot of PvP discussion in the past few days. Curious what your standpoint on karma systems, players dropping loot, and PvP death. I saw some of that discussion. I think if there's a, if we wanted to go that route, I don't see, if there are people on the team that were thinking that we could do a karma system or something and have it work, then cool. That sounds awesome. I think Nick may have mentioned the possibility of like investigating karma system. I don't know. Let me know if that's incorrect, Nick. But I was seeing some of the discussion of PvP, and I think it was the same person that was discussing why everything had to be dynamic. They were also kind of discussing why, if we don't do something about corpse camping, then that would just destroy PvP, etc. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. But haven't we also discussed like different solutions that may exist just within the base game for after a certain period of time? There may be things that you can do to work with different NPCs or whatever to help recover your corpse. Then there's all of the other mechanisms that we'll be providing for players to help you recover your corpse. So it's like, okay, yeah, corpse camping is a thing, but it would be interesting to get those mechanisms in place and kind of see what it feels like from there. So yeah, there's little stuff, but it's just, maybe it was Nick that had mentioned this, once you start trying to get too systemic with certain solutions, that then it may lead to other behaviors that you weren't expecting, and just there'll be new ways to grief or manipulate or gimp those systems as well. And that's something I really honestly I believe pretty strongly when it comes to like over systematizing gameplay and overthinking it, right? Like getting a little too smart, and then you just start building. It's like lying. I think some video game systems are like lies, right? The more lies you tell, the more complicated your life gets, because then all of a sudden you got to tell more lies to back up the lies because they're not the truth. And I think that happens with game systems, where when you start getting clever and you start like trying to force certain behaviors to happen through overdeveloped systems. Next thing you know, you got to band-aid the spot you just found where someone had broke that system again. And all of a sudden it just starts, you start layering system on top of system or tweaks to the system that may then start to have a weird ripple effect on the original intent or implementation of the system. And shit just gets weird. Whereas having stuff be pretty simple, it's like, we should aspire to build like the series 2 of Range Rovers, right? Like of video games. Just dead simple, easy to repair. May not be the most pleasurable ride of your life if you're not into that sort of thing, but hey. I'm not really a car person, but I seem to make a lot of freaking car analogies. Trying to argue in favor of player run social norms, but I understand the concern about putting that onus on the player base. I mean, I tend to agree on that front. And then if we're going to... Oh, did the server just go down? Probably. If we're going to... Yeah. I had to look up the Range Rover 2. Series 2. I'm not a car person, but I owned one back in the day. Range Rover Series 2A MOD ambulance. This is what I owned. And I honestly, I wasn't as into it as I should have been. And I really didn't do enough with it. And once I went to sell it, I actually had to get it running again. Because it was sitting at my ex-wife, at my old house. Sitting there, and I needed to sell it. And when I got in and actually was forced to do some work on it, it wound up being so much fun. Because it was so easy. I don't know. I think I was just intimidated the whole time I had it and distracted by other shit or whatever. And it wound up just being super easy to work on. And yeah, it was pretty cool. It was not comfortable for me though. I'm 6'2", and it was not built for 6'2" people to drive. Can you vet out the guild system more? Curious if we're gonna have guild window to manage guild. Yeah. Don't know about guild bank, but it's likely there will be something like that, especially given guild housing. It's very possible, but we'll definitely have more better interface. More improvements. Owned a 91 Nissan before it blew up. Back when your vision wasn't terrible. Yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't be driving anything now, buddy. Unfortunately. The medic log is there because you played a cleric in EQ, right? I played a cleric in EQ after I owned that. I never played a cleric before Eridoon. But maybe my owning it led to me playing a cleric. First, I've never seen the tracked version. You know what? Do I need to pull something? Apparently not. Okay. What's that? Weekend surprise stress test? One more soul. I'll be honest with you. If we had time to plan it or whatever, that would have been cool, but it's not on the radar, unfortunately. I'm as excited as you are for us to have another playtest. But a short one this time. Not so long. Not so long. What did the playtest cost to perform? I'd have to ask Ali. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible. If we hit the estimates that he had projected before the test, but don't have a number for you offhand. Next weekend, please. You've got a 4-day weekend again. Well, like I said, we're not going to go 4 days. That's a lot. That's a lot. Liz, what's going on? Liz, what were you working on? I was skimming earlier and I didn't get a chance to like actually sit and digest what was going on in Discord. What are you working on? Bobbin lace. I have to go back and look at it. What is it? What does it do? Makes lace? You have like a ton of sticks with string and magic about them. How long would it take to make a lace curtain that's like 1 meter by 1 meter by 200? Torches and gnome hands look hilarious. Looks like a waffle cone without the ice cream. It's because it's turned off, buddy. Now it looks like a torch. We should put in ice cream cones that do this. Except it would probably, I think that would not be in keeping with our lore. Odd you should say that, because I do plan on trying to make one But if a 2 by around 7 takes 2.5 working days, a lot. Yeah. And I'm assuming you're saying 2 centimeters by 7 centimeters. Inches? Oh, wait. I was like, why is she using the inches sign for centimeters? You're British. You're British. I keep forgetting that you guys borrowed the imperial system from the Americans. I thought you guys had converted. I thought you had converted already, but then you fled. So you're not allowed to use the metric system anymore by law, I think. Ever since the incident. But don't worry, we've got your back. You can still use our measuring systems. They have a bastardization of metric and imperial. Yeah, they use like stones, heads, squids. We drive in miles in cars. We drive in miles in cars. 2 miles to the gallon. Oh, yeah. Convert your like measurements miles to gallons, but you buy in liters. Yeah, you guys are you're messed up. You're messed up. You've spent too much time on the same island together. Leads to strange thinking. Aren't you a dual citizen? Nope. I am an American. I am just an American. I have a permanent resident card here. So I can stay here for as long as they'll, well, until they, get tired of my shit. But I am only an American. I would not accept dual citizenship as a point of. I would, even if they said you can be a citizen, I'd be like, I'm an American. I think you got to understand something about me, son. I'm an American. And just because I use terms like meter doesn't mean I understand them. What was that look over my shoulder when he said, 'cause Jasmine was over there laughing. Jasmine came home. Jasmine came home from the range shooting her guns. I'm here to convert Germans to Americans. I'm not here for Germans to convert me to German. First step, teach her how to handle firearms. Second step, teach her about inches, yards, feet, miles. Though, in all fairness, all the military shit we do is all in metric as well. But that's mainly so we can seamlessly integrate into local populations and understand their street signs. You introduced her to the Marines, now you're in trouble? Isan, I did not introduce my wife to any Marines. I would not do that. I am not a fool. I am not getting her anywhere near any of you Marines. I introduced her to a show about Marines. That's as close as she's going to get to Marines. I don't trust you guys. You're all hopped up on Crayola. A teacher about inches is a crazy statement. Hey now. Shh. It's Friday. Well, as far as the lace curtain, technically I will make 5-inch squares and join them as the pattern was to be a tablecloth, but I don't want lace. And thought about I'd try for a curtain for a crappy window I have. Yeah, let me know how your curtain goes. Maybe we'll contract you to make new curtains for our garden. When I'm asked my race, I just put Texan. There you go, Poon. He's in America. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. And the Germans are like, America, it's such a crazy place. And I go, yes, exactly. Exactly. America. It's a lovely place. Once you get past pretzels and cakes, the food tends to be a little bit blah. First of all, yeah, Jasmine said, how do you get past the cakes, first of all? So that's a weird statement. I had the misfortune of having a German potato dumpling dish, thinking it was similar to the gnocchi once. Yeah, but that's what gravy's for, dude. Did you have gravy? Was there gravy on it? First? You're going to tell me that German gravy is blah? German gravy is some of the gnarliest stuff I've ever had in my face. What did you have to knödel with Schwein Sauerbraten? A Haxe vielleicht? Perhaps? What did you eat it with? If you just eat a potato dumpling, like if you just eat one of the potato dumplings on its own, the gummy ass, like weird textured potato dumpling, it's weird. But that is why you get like a bucket of gravy with some delicious, super rich pork something. It's going to be pork for sure. It's just going to be pork. And then you're smashing the potato dumpling in the gravy, and it's smashed in there, but then you're pouring more on top. And then there's just like a nice fatty, rich, melt in your mouth pork that you're eating with it. If you're telling me now, if you ate like a dry ass a schnitzel, and it's not like a Jaeger schnitzel with sauce or whatever, but it's just like a dry ass schnitzel and no gravy, and then like a knödel and no gravy, then yeah, that's probably a horrible experience. That, like with schnitzels, you definitely got to get the sauce. The breads, yeah, forgot the bread. The bread? How do you forget the bread? I'll send you a video of Germans talking about bread. There's always these memes of like Germans going into a bakery, enlisting the bread, and it goes on for like 15 minutes. I can go down, there's currently 1, 2, 3, 4, one of them closed. 5 bakeries within like a 2-block radius of here. And you can go to the different bakeries based on the number. Like some of them have more pastries and less bread, and some of them have more bread and fewer pastries. I can go into this one bakery. I'll take a picture next time I'm in one of these bakeries and I'll send it to you. Just the wall of different bread and shit. Fresh. Oh my gosh. All right, so did I know German before I moved? If not, how long did it take you to become fluent? I am not fluent, so it'll probably take me forever to be fluent. I lived in Germany twice as a kid, so I retained a tiny little bit, and then I moved to Germany the first time as an adult in 2015, was here for 2 years, went to Sweden for 3 years, and now I've been here for going on 4. So I know a few words, but I am not fluent. You're ready for the game now, Katie? Yeah. I know. But I'm too busy talking to you guys to be productive. So you're going to keep waiting and waiting. Texas wants to be apart from the rest of the USA. We have our own power grid. Hey, you know what? There's some good German spots in Texas. When you guys break off, we'll build a new embassy there, and it'll be a bakery. I will spearhead that. I like Texas. German chocolate cake's actually made by a man named Samuel German. And it's not German at all. I think that's true. I was confused as a kid because if you think of athletics, they do 100 meter, 400 meter, 800 meter. How do countries who work in inches, feet, and yards cope with meter races? We're so good we can do both. 40-yard dash. German potato salad is great. Yeah, there's Sephiroth. There's like, if I go to a grocery store, there's at least 8 different German potato salads. There's not a huge variety, but what they've got, they have a lot of variety within. If that makes sense. Schnitzel is good. Schnitzel can be hit and miss. I mean, if it's got gravy, it can be good. American system's simple. It's not 1,000 meters in a kilometer. It's 1,760 yards in a mile. Easy to remember. Yes. 3 feet in a yard. Chip said, I always chicken out when making my own sauerkraut and put it in the fridge too soon. Oh, are you worried about the bacteria? It's good for your bacteria. It makes you poop in a good way. I do this like kimchi. I'll let it sit out for a bit. I get a little wild, and I'm usually worried about stuff being contaminated. Katie said, we have Starbucks. That's the best American in cities. That's not true. There's so many little hipster communes in cities these days. You got all sorts of pastries and shit. You just got to pay like $40 for a muffin. Apparently in the UK, it needs to glow Greg's to the Americans. You guys have some weird words. Do Germans use bread just for sop and gravy? Is there German sandwiches? Yeah, they eat bread all day. Breakfast breads, lunch breads, bread with dinner, bread before bed. That's actually sounding real good right now. I think I might do that tonight. Some German bread with butter and a little bit of honey. Katie said, "Oh no, I meant we're ready for the game to be released. Hope it didn't come up." No, you didn't sound like an asshole. I was joking. You didn't sound bad at all. I took it as a compliment. You were like, "Hey, we're excited for the game." Like, we're excited too. Also, some of us are slow. Bread in bed? Yeah. What's up, Grumpy? Bread and breakfast. That's where it comes from. Do Germans wear a lot of gold chains? The rappers do. There's a lot of German rap now, unfortunately. And I love rap, but... Huh? Curious, are you paying salaries or are people working via revenue share? People are working via profit share. Doki Deki. Bull? Was? I'm German, living for 12 years in the US now. What I miss most is Brötchen and real bread. Bindal, it's true, right? Where are you from in Germany? Wie fragt man das? Von welcher Stadt kommst du? Aus welcher Stadt? Hamburg. Wo in Hamburg? Ich liebe Hamburg. Living in Boston? Yeah, Jasmine, she's been to Boston. I've only been through Boston a bunch. Winterhude. What landmark would Winterhude be? How would I recognize it? Jasmine. It's at the Ulster. Okay. Yeah, I was saying, I don't know if you were in here earlier. I was saying I was so in love with the idea of kiosk beers when I lived in Hamburg, that I spent so much time walking around Hamburg. I have put in hundreds of miles of walking in Hamburg through so many different the various Bezirk Dorf, wie heißt man neighborhood, wie heißt Stadtteile? Okay, Stadtteile. New EQ map was pretty decent, pretty awesome. They brought Rick Schmitz back to do it. We'd love to do a map, I'm sure. Yeah, dude, that's very cool about Rick. I wasn't sure when I had read that if it was one that it seemed like they found, or if they had him do it. They had him do it. That's cool. Yeah, Hamburg's a really great city. I really enjoy it. Even without the alcohol. Yeah, we're in Bremen. Bremen is pretty small compared to Hamburg. Pretty chill. Yeah, Rick Schmitz is fantastic. Gotta pick up your kids. Love to see how cool the game looks by now. Hey, vielen Dank und schönes Wochenende. Und vielleicht sehen wir uns nächste Woche. Ich werde reinschauen. Cool. Yeah, you know what? Smugglers should all huddle near torches, say to each other. That was very fluent. Hey, vielen Dank. Ja, ich brauche mehr Übung. Manchmal sprechen wir nur Englisch hier. Well, we have special NPCs to sell goods for us, like in Luckland, I think. Maybe if you have a shop. Maybe as an eventual upgrade. Smugglers should huddle around torches. Is this new EC tunnel? Interesting. Yeah, we'll see if you eventually faction up with these guys or not. Alright guys, we're rolling up on 10:49 my time. And I wanted to get out here. But I started early, so it's actually a 3-hour and 40-minute stream. So I'm gonna wrap up for the weekend because Jasmine's off work. She's on vacation this week and next week, so carving out some time to hang out a little bit. That's why there's only one stream this week, one stream next week. So it will be 1 week until the next stream, unless something happens and yeah, she got something to do or whatever on a evening, then maybe I'll pop in. But yeah, we're mainly hanging out. So thanks for hanging out today. Apologies for only doing one stream this week and next week, but we'll get more regular after this. Always nice seeing you guys. And yeah, it was fun. Got a little bit done. I placed more than 3 mobs today, so that's a record. Lesava, thank you. Have a good one later, Thulan. Yeah, Liz. Time together is wonderful. See you, Bill. One more soul. Have a great weekend. You too, Belfaster, Sarenth. Take care. Scruffy. My day is over. You have a good day, Fielder. See you and thank you. John, see you in Slack. Two Chains, you have a good weekend as well. Later, Goblin. Corvus, you're welcome, and I've got you up on Discord. I'll try to read that and get word back to you. Later, First. Have fun with your lace, Liz. Aloth, you're very welcome. Thanks for being here. See you, Chinny D. Iker. Yeah, that's it. We'll get Chat GPT to do the work next stream. Later, Matthias, Darius, 00. Take care. See you, Brent. See you in Slack, Pattis. Later, Sephiroth. Chili sauce. Have a good weekend yourself. Is that everybody? Dozakar. Oh, Isan. I saw you up there, brother. Sorry, my friend. I missed you. I wasn't avoiding you because Jasmine's in the room. Sexy Marine, you. All right. I think that's it then. Anybody I missed? Anybody I missed after I hit the button? Have a great weekend. I will see you guys next week, probably on Friday. Thanks again for being here. And yeah, bye-bye.